Nate Kabiri is one of my favorite attackmen in all of high school lacrosse right now. The 6-foot, 170-pound recruit has the potential to be a household name in lacrosse. And today, I want to convince you why you must pay attention to his game. Kabiri, a class of 2023 recruit, posted 59 goals and 29 assists on a loaded Georgetown prep team that finished top 20 in the national high school rankings this past year. After originally committing to Georgetown, Kabiri quietly flipped his verbal commitment to Princeton, where he'll immediately compete for playing time and a national championship. Today, I want to break down why Nate is such a good player and what I think he needs to get better and how things might project at the next level. I'm Jake with Lax Weekly, and let's get into this video. The first thing I love about Kabiri's game is his intensity. When Kabiri dodges, he's putting his shoulder down, leaning, and taking contact, knowing he's about to cash in for a goal. He doesn't let poke checks or big defenders get in the way. He takes everything in stride and finds a way to finish the lacrosse ball in any situation. Many times you'll see Kabiri end up with his helmet knocked back or disoriented because he goes straight through the teeth of the defense. To me, this is his ultimate X factor. It's one thing to say you're confident, it's another to power cradle through two elite defensemen and shoot around a third one like it's your job. He kind of reminds me in Ryder Garnsey in the sense that he's slippery and he always finds a way to get a shot off no matter how much the defense is all over him. But Kabiri isn't reckless, he's actually quite the opposite. This leads me to my next point, his poise. You can quickly tell if an attackman is calm under pressure by watching them play. Nothing seems to faze Nate, and it almost seems like he's floating around the field. Kabiri is a scorer at heart, but he's also just as happy to dish out an assist since his head is always up. Plenty of high school attackmen are good at dodging with their head down and heading straight to the goal, but Kabiri lets the game come to him and trusts his stick protection and instincts will do the rest. If you're a tennis fan, he kind of reminds me of Roger Federer in the way that his game is so effortless. It almost looks like he's not even trying, even though he's simultaneously moving a million miles an hour. From all the coaches I've talked to, Kabiri embraces the big moments, scoring lots of goals in big games when everything is on the line. He reminds me of pro lacrosse player Tom Schreiber in that way, where he never seems to be phased. Lacrosse seems less like a battle he's trying to win and more just like a puzzle he's trying to solve. But now let's get tactical. The next reason I love his game is his low angle shooting ability. As lacrosse gets better and better, the days when you get wide open shots coming around the goal are very hard to come by. Instead, you have to rely on your low angle shooting, putting the ball in the back of the cage with very little net to work with. Well, every game Kabiri puts on a low angle shooting masterclass, using his eyes and shoulders to fool goalies and score at ease. It might just look like he's chunking the ball at the goal and hoping it goes in, but in reality, low angle shooting is a craft that very few high school, college, and even pro players know how to do very well. If you're a defender, it's really hard to know how to match up with Kabiri, because if you give him just an inch of space topside, he's gonna turn the corner. But if you play too much over him, he's happy to just roll back and shoot it too. The next reason I love his game is his vision. 59 goals and 29 assists means that getting his teammates involved is a priority, and it makes him 10 times harder to guard. His head is always perfectly up, scanning the field and looking for someone open. After watching this video, I'll leave a link to his GoPro highlights from ECD in the description. The GoPro video shows you his head is always up and he's never really looking at the ground. If you press out on Nate too much, he'll just wheel and deal and put up 4 or 5 assists before halftime. Then when you get on his hands, he'll use his body and just lean on you and score. Let's just say I'm glad I'm not a defender in lacrosse right now. Next, let's talk about one of the more exciting parts of Kabiri's game, his flashiness. Every highlight reel is chock full of behind the back, swim moves, toe drags, and low to high stingers. Even though some of these plays could be considered high risk, there's something magical about the way Kabiri plays. Let's face it, we're all drawn to players who are flashier. The Thompsons, the Powells, the Gates, Ryder Garnsey. It's addicting to watch them play because you never really know what they're gonna do next. Kabiri has a limitless bag of tricks that seems to only grow in size every year. And I think this is one of the reasons he could be such a household name in lacrosse. Also, if you want Nate's exact lacrosse gear setup, check the link in my description to buy it on Amazon right now. Kabiri rocks the ECD Mirage 2, and you can get one shipped right to your door with my link, and it supports this channel at no extra cost to you. But let's get back to being tactical. The next part I love about Kabiri's game is his time and room shooting. At first I thought Nate was your prototypical X dodger who preferred to stay at X and never too far away from the goal, but I couldn't be more wrong. Nate has a cannon of an outside shot, and his time and room shooting ability alone would be enough to make him a great player. He uses his whole body to uncork a wicked low to high shot, and I honestly don't think we've seen a player prefer the low to high so much since Matt O'Keefe graduated from Penn State. Nate also uses one secret weapon to his advantage. He shoots around defenders. This means when the defender is approaching him, he uses defenders as a shield between him and the goalie, which means if he can get a shot off, the goalie literally cannot see the ball until it's in the goal. Most lacrosse players' natural instinct is to shy away when a defender is approaching him, but Nate Kabiri does the opposite. He leans in and shoots around the defender, and it pays. The next thing that stands out about his game is his versatility. Kabiri was a standout midfielder before switching to attack. This is very apparent in his highlights. One play he's at X trying to shake a defender, the next play he's sweeping over the top for for a shot. Then the next play he's on the crease, perfectly content to let his teammates handle the ball while he slips to find a soft spot in the defense. He's the ultimate chameleon, which is going to serve him very well in the college ranks. When he gets to Princeton, if there's already an alpha X attackman, Kabiri could easily slot in as a wing shooter or a crease guy, or a man-up specialist for the time being. I think this is another reason why he'll be a household name in lacrosse. I really think he's going to get playing time from the second he steps on campus. Now let's talk about another trait that every coach says he has in spades: hustle. Kabiri is relentless on the ride, chasing down defenders and trying to get the ball back every chance he gets. Sometimes flashy players get the rap for being good on offense, but pretentious and unwilling to hustle on defense. Kabiri completely shatters this mold, and he's just as masterful on the ride as he is on offense. I can't tell you how many coaches salivate over a player like this. It's something very hard to teach. Okay, so I just bragged on Nate for a few minutes here, but now I want to talk about things that I think he can work on if he really wants to thrive at the next level. First is his shooting cradle. Kabiri has a ridiculously dangerous outside shot, but I do think he takes a bit of time to get the ball off. He takes 1 or 2 power cradles before he shoots, which helps him with his shooting speed, but as he plays higher and higher levels of lacrosse, defenses and goalies could take advantage of the ball being in his stick for so long. I remember talking with Will Manny, one of the best outside shooters in pro lacrosse, and he said he would always take a quick release over a powerful shot. And it makes sense. Every millisecond that the ball stays in your stick is time that goalies and defenders can react. Look at a guy like Mac O'Keefe. He gets his shot off before anyone really knows what's going on. If Kabiri can clean up his footwork a bit and catch the ball ready to shoot with less cradling, I think he can put up crazy goal numbers in college. The second thing I think he can work on, just like any high schooler, is his strength. Kabiri is plenty strong right now, but as he knows better than me, college lacrosse is a different animal. He seems to be on the lankier side, which is perfect for those wraparound goals and behind the backs, but I think to keep up his physical play, he'll need to get even stronger. I'm certain that a college lacrosse strength and conditioning program will be great for him. And strength isn't something he really needs to worry about right now. It's just something he should prioritize going forward. I'd also love to see Kabiri continue to hone on his decision making. One of my goals this year is to watch multiple full games of his to see how he makes decisions, because right now I'm depending mostly on highlights and other coaches to tell me about his game. But there's some plays in his highlight reels that are so awesome, but also plays that I could see him getting into trouble with if he didn't score. I'm the first to say I'd much rather have a guy take chances than a guy who's too conservative with the ball. But I also think college lacrosse coaches like a player who can be disciplined when they need to be. I have no worries with Kabiri as a decision maker. He's very patient with the ball and usually doesn't force things. This is just something to look out for in any flashy player. Kabiri heads to Princeton in 2023 with a lot of promise and a lot of hype. I'm convinced that he's going to be a name that Paul Carcaterra, Quint Kessenek, and Anish Shroff from ESPN are going to be calling out a lot over the next decade and beyond. His flashy playstyle is the perfect fit for the run and gun style of lacrosse, but ultimately it's his fundamental talent of dodging, shooting, and passing that make him an absolutely elite prospect. So what do you think about Nate Kabiri, and what video should I make next? This video was so much fun to make. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jake with Lax Weekly. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.